platforms economy has changed organizations in multiple ways. The first way in which platforms have changed organizations is because it helps them connect to external actors. Platforms, digital platforms, are operating on top of the internet, and they facilitate new kinds of ways to generate value. The first one has to do with helping people and organizations identify each other, finding that buyer, finding that supplier, finding that reviewer, help identify each other, make matches between each other, and therefore allowing people and organizations to extend that network. They're doing that in a very successful way, whether it's in our professional life with companies like LinkedIn, or finding buyers and suppliers, whether it's eBay, whether it's Amazon Marketplace, whether it's Salesforce, who's doing a great job in orchestrating a whole ecosystem, orchestrating that ecosystem made of third parties who can then add value on top of the Salesforce products and services. And so the first way is to facilitate this connection. The second way in which platforms change organizations is they allow them to innovate better by tapping into the innovative capabilities of external actors. So identify those innovators that are not part of your organization, that can help your organization succeed because of their products, services, technologies that they can build on top of your platform. And again, here, the example of Salesforce is a fantastic example. So two ways in which platforms change organizations. One, by allowing them to identify external parties with whom to exchange and transact, and help them innovate better by tapping into external innovation capabilities. On the one hand, yes, the platform economy helps us be smarter, precisely because it allows us to connect to different people and different organizations, and therefore be exposed to different points of views, enrich our knowledge base, and be exposed to a diversity of opinions. So by definition, that's going to help us become smarter. On the other hand, there are limits to this view of how more connection make us smarter, for two reasons. The first reason is that as human beings, we tend to sort out and limit ourselves to messages that we consider valuable. We all have an internal bias as to what is an acceptable idea, what is a dumb ideas, what are the kind of people I want to connect with, and what are the kind of people I avoid. So we tend to have a comfort zone, whether we are aware of it or not, where we don't expose ourselves to radically different ideas. The second problem with this notion of more connections and more platforms are going to make us smarter is because of the algorithms that many of those platforms utilize to expose us to new people, new messages, new products, or new services. A lot of those algorithms are really predictive algorithms based on our prior behavior. So they tend to think, and they tend to be programmed on the basis of what you liked before, you're going to like in the future. So the prediction of the future becomes a natural consequence of what happened in the past. Those algorithms therefore limit us again into creating what is called in social network these eco bubbles, where we feel that everybody agrees with us and everything is normal, until we by mistake enter into somebody else's bubble and we realize there is a whole world out there of people who completely disagree on fundamentals. So that's why the platform economy, on the one hand, makes us smarter, at least in theory, but let's not forget that it could also make us less smart together. And what I will finish on is the question of who do we entrust, who do we outsource to this ability of exploring new connections and new world. So the more we become reliant on those algorithms to allow us to explore new products, new territories, new business relationships, new friendships, the more we outsource that intrinsically human capability of curiosity and exploration, the more dependent we become of those algorithms, and that might reduce our own capacity to branch out and build those new relationships, which are so important to be smarter together. So the platform economy has really changed the nature of the firm. The firms that we observe around us, we really inherited them from the Industrial Revolution. They were there for a purpose, which is to process goods, to build goods, to manufacture them, and to distribute them. Okay, and the shape of the organization that we call a firm, and the work of Chandler has really showed that very well, came from mastering economies of scale and economies of scope. That's what the manufacturing firm of the 20th century is all about. The digital firm, the platform firm of the 21st century, the one that operates as an orchestrator of other communities of agents that constitute an ecosystem, their purpose is fundamentally different. Their purpose is either to connect external parties so that they can transact with each other, or to facilitate innovation by external firms. So that leads some to think, is this the end of the firm as we know it? Are we still going to need firms that own assets, that have employees, and that create value internally? The answer is absolutely, we will still need those firms, but they're going to have to adapt. They're going to have to adapt so that they don't become commoditized in an economy that will be dominated by just those big giant platforms. And they're going to have to either operate as members of others' ecosystems or create their own ecosystem around themselves. I believe that the future of the firm will not be to be only a digital intermediary, but that will be able to create value with the workforce that they will respect and that they will motivate, and in combination of digital services and physical goods. And I think that's going to be the future of the firm in the platform economy.